Okay, so I wanted to have a conversation talking about vinyl variants, the upsides, the downsides, the circumstances, and really get into that. And before I go on to my points, I wanted to say that I am a Taylor Swift fan. I really enjoy her music, and she's one of my favorite artists of all time. So, first up, she just announced that she's going to be releasing another version of her album, The Tortured Poets Department. This one is going to have the exclusive bonus track, The Black Dog. On February 23rd, she announced a version with a song called The Albatross. On the 16th, she announced a version with a song, The Bolter. And the album was originally announced on April 19th. So there's a lot of different thoughts I have on this conversation in particular. There's a lot of great things about having different vinyl variants, and you can see different album covers, which are always cool, different vinyl variants, and you can collect if you wish, maybe a poster, maybe something else if you collect all of them, like Taylor Swift did with the Midnight's album. If you bought every variant of it, then it made a clock, and she sold supplies on a website to do that, and people were really into that. Sometimes they have limited runs of it, so they sell like 1,000 copies, 2,000 copies of it, and that's it. So you're kind of a part of an exclusive club. So on the whole, I really do enjoy vinyl variants and the creativity that can come from it, first and foremost. It's also worth noting that there's a lot of other artists released vinyl variants as well, like Ariana Grande's having some for her brand new album, Eternal Sunshine. Red Hot Chili Peppers, they had like 18 versions of it for one of their past albums, which is just ridiculous in my opinion, but I digress. I just don't want you guys to think I'm like going in hard on Taylor Swift, when in reality a lot of people actually do it. I think the circumstances of this is different though, because it's just like, why are you releasing 4 different versions of the album with one new song each? It would be a lot more digestible, in my opinion, if you just had the same album all across the board. You release a couple different colors of it, like most people do, and then you move on. But I mean, if someone were to choose to buy all versions of it and you want to hear the new songs, oh, now I got to switch it out, and then it's just counterintuitive. And I mean, let's be honest, you're going to put all these songs on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and all that, anyways, and make money off the back end. So it's kind of just like, what is the point? So that's what I really don't like about it. And at a certain point for Taylor Swift, like, it's just giving calculated, and it is what it is, because it's like, in a certain respect, I respect it, because one thing about Taylor Swift, she's always going to maximize an opportunity. You have vinyl variants for this, Midnight, what she did for 1989 Taylor's version, and so on. And you have what she was doing with Anti-Hero. She wanted to keep that song at number one. What did she do? Release 8 remixes to keep it at number one, which I think was ridiculous, and I just feel like it's not really organic, and I wasn't really here for that, because at a certain point, in my opinion, it's definitely giving chart obsessed, it's giving desperate, it's giving, you care about money that much instead of really the artistic integrity. And I think Taylor Swift's a great artist, and I really do enjoy her music, but I mean, let's call a spade a spade. And so you could see her doing it in a way of like, oh, like, I want to sell a lot of records in order to further my legacy in that way, because, you want to be, up on those lists of like best-selling female artists of all time and artists across the board and vinyl sales and all those things, which, traditionally she does very well in. So that's another reason that she wants to have this push, and so, have the best-selling album of the year and all those things. So I think all those kind of tie into the decision and why she does it. I mean, Taylor Swift knows that she has a huge fan base and a very dedicated fan base. This is something that she's worked on through her entire career, is really, connecting with the fans in a certain way. And so there's going to be people who want to buy every single version of the album because they want that experience that Taylor Swift is going to create with all the different versions of it, the album covers, and, the extra stuff that she does and the Easter eggs, because, she's really into that. So you definitely have that, and people who just want to get it anyways. And, if you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. People release vinyl variants all the times. It doesn't necessarily mean that, they're super successful. It really depends on if you like collecting, if you like the artist, and all those things. But yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword about how Taylor Swift is not going to miss the opportunity to sell a record, to promote herself in any way. And that's just something that I've really noticed. And, as much as I respect it, it's also something that kind of irritates me in the way that she does it. And it's just something that I've seen over the years. So kind of just wanted to give that kind of perspective about it as well. Overall, most people with this album and with a lot of albums, you're just gonna pick your favorite version of it, buy it, and then you move on. Some people are into getting CDs, some people are into streaming. It's really all up to you. I just kind of want to talk about the conversation overall, the circumstances, and let me know, will you be streaming this album? Will you be buying this album? If so, on what format? How many copies are you getting? Let's have the conversation. I'm definitely going to be listening to this album on my YouTube channel, and it's Stage 25. I'm definitely going to be uploading reaction there, so you can check it out. And then a few weeks later, I will upload a video, and I'm just going to be talking about my updated thoughts on the album and, just kind of give it a real review. And I do that for albums and artists that I really like, and Taylor Swift makes pretty great albums in my opinion, so, that will definitely be coming soon. But I just think that this is a pretty nuanced conversation that I really wanted to have. Yes, I like Taylor Swift's music. As a person, it's gonna be a chop for me. That's why I wouldn't really consider myself a Swiftie. I would say that I'm a Taylor Swift fan. But, I know her discography, pretty well, I would say, and I really do enjoy what she does on the music side. I just kind of wanted to share what I'm thinking because there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. And I'm sure that Swifties are going to drag me in the comments. I really don't care. It's just my subjective opinion. Worth noting that I am a vinyl collector myself, and there's some albums I have multiple variants of just for fun. It depends on how much I like the album and the artist. And I just wanted to know your thoughts in general on this conversation about Taylor Swift, on the vinyl collection, moment in general. Are you big on vinyl collecting? Are you not? If you're into it, how do you decide which ones are you going to get? Does it really depend on how much you like the album? Does it depend on the pressing of the album and the quality? Does it depend on what you're getting with the album? Is it going to be a box set? Do you want it to be like a limited moment? Do you think it's something you can't pass up? Because a lot of people just like to do it for the aesthetic, and some people do to support the artist, and some people it's a little bit of both, like myself. So let's continue the conversation.